as in when the, like for instance, when a baby starts walking, he may not be able to walk initially, but he's getting that information, he's overcoming his fear through his experience. Now, there is no such manual here which can teach a baby to walk or which can teach a baby to grab something. This is he's doing on its own. He's capturing that information, he's gathering the data point, and accordingly he's starting moving. This is how the human mind develops the intelligence. You give the various toys to him, you give the various blocks to him, that basically gives the exercise to his mind and start developing his intelligence. In the same manner, deep learning is something where we solve the critical problem through the machines by giving them a large number of algorithms, large number of data points, large number of data inputs, and on the basis of that, the machine try to give you the optimal solution. Similarly, when we are talking of big data is a large amount of data. Now, when we're talking of data, data is something that we are calculating, that we are collecting in the form of Excel sheets. Like when we are buying something, you get an invoice. That invoice is a form of a data. Now, what is big data then? Big data has got a large amount of variety. When we say big data, it is not just a text, or it is not just numbers. It could be images, it could be videos. Similarly, when we are talking about big data, it is having a large amount of volume also. And like when we are analyzing a stock exchange data, it has varying data. It is changing very rapidly. So when we are talking of big data, it has got three characteristics basically: volume, variety, and variance. Now, based on those three characteristics, it is quite difficult to analyze that particular data, particularly if it is an image or particularly if it is a video. So deep learning is somewhat that is related to that. Deep learning means that analyzing videos, analyzing images, and based on that, doing something crucial as far as your production environment is concerned, or giving some solution to you. So next we move on to the next session here, that is components of AI. Now here we'll be discussing about the various subsets of AI. Occasionally, we find that people are considering that machine learning is different from AI, neural network is different from AI, or deep learning is different from AI. Actually, all of these are related to AI only, and they are actually the subset of AI. Now, when we say they are subset of AI, AI is something that is surrounding them, and within AI, the first component here is the machine learning. And within machine learning, we have something called neural network, and neural network has got deep learning within it. There are other components also, but we relate those components in these three major subsets of AI only. Like when we are talking of visual analysis, like when we are talking of voice recognition, when we are talking of image identification. So all these are basically somewhat related to these three subsets, that are machine learning, neural network, and deep learning. So we'll be discussing them one by one. Now, what is machine learning? Machine learning is something where we give some kind of data to the program or data to the machine and ask it to learn and predict about that particular data, or do some kind of productive work based on that particular input and the algorithm that are being provided to it. So machine learning is not just like you are writing a program. It is like machine is learning to understand the data. Machine is learning to adapt to that particular environment, and it is solving certain problem for you. Machine learning can be of two types basically, like supervised and unsupervised. Supervised means that we give some inputs to the machine. Apart from that, we also give certain outcomes. Now the machine has to collect the various data point and choose the right outcome from that. Similarly, there can be an unsupervised machine learning also. Unsupervised means we are only having the input point, we don't have the related outcome with us. So in that case, the machine has to do all the work by itself. It has to learn the algorithm, it has to do the best match, and on the basis of the best match, it has to suggest the best solution. So it is the more difficult as compared to the supervised machine learning. I'll not be going into the technical terms. My purpose here is to explain you the basic fundamentals of the machine learning, neural network, and deep learning. Neural network, as I told you, that it is something that is present in the human mind also. We have a set of neurons present in the mind. And these neurons, basically, they help us to take the decisions. They capture the various data points, and on the basis of the data point, they analyze that information, do some sort of permutations and combinations, apply some scientific methods on that, and on the basis of that, suggest us an outcome. The same thing is done with the help of artificial intelligence also. The neural network is doing something here similar to what is being done in the human mind. It is a circuit of neurons present in a machine or a robot or a software. And then on the modern sense, artificial neural network is composed of artificial neurons. We have a physical neurons present in our mind, when whereas a software is having artificial neuron, maybe in terms of some kind of software, some kind of application for solving artificial intelligence related problems. So in this case, the neural network, as I told you, that as a child, as I told you, that it is learning from its experience. The neural network in machine also is doing something similar to that. The only difference here in that is that when we are talking of a human mind and when we compare it with the neural network present in the machine, the neural network present in the machine can be able to do the calculation, compare several outcomes much more than what a human mind can do in a fraction of second. So, so you can say that in coming times, the neural networks in the machines can make them much more powerful and even powerful than the human mind. So because they can analyze a large amount of data in a very short time. So, and it is what is the core of what we are going to discuss next, that is the deep learning. So deep learning is revolving all around the neural network, because neural network is something that is making the connections, that is picking up and analyzing the data, and it helps us to solve the deep problem. Deep learning made solving the complex problem. Like when we are saying that I have to compare two numbers to find out that which one is greater. Now that is something like a easy problem. Like if 5 is greater than 2, we can simply say that 5 is greater than 2. But if I give you a set of two images and ask you to find the differences between them, so this is something where the neural network comes into picture, where the neurons of mind comes into picture. They will start comparing the picture one by one and looking at each of the aspect of the image. The same thing is done with the deep learning, because that problem is a complex problem, comparing the images, recognizing voices. Now, you might have seen that if some of you might have YouTube channels with you, YouTube is doing automatic translations these days. It provides you the transcript of whatever you are speaking. Now, you may find that it may sometimes giving you a false narrative. It may sometimes use the word that you do not intend to use. Now, that is because, again, it is using artificial intelligence behind it. It is trying to do the voice recognition. It is trying to convert those voice into words. So that is what is something related to deep learning. So deep learning is a critical branch, an important branch related to machine learning. And sometimes it is quite difficult as a normal complex machine learning problem when we are talking of. It is not as simple as just saying like Alexa, play music. When Alexa is playing music, it is catching those two words, play music. It is very simple. But when we have to compare different kind of fonts, when we have to compare different types of pictures, when we have to compare different types of accents, like when we are talking of accents in English, in India itself, we are having a different accent every few kilometers. So that means that it will be quite difficult for you to pick up the right accent and do the transcript for that. So This is a part of a deep learning. This is an example of a deep learning. Now it works in the background, like some of the tools that we are using, like Cortana of Microsoft Windows. Then we have Google Assistant that is assisting you to choose the right thing. It is recognizing your voice, and it will be training based on the voice slowly and slowly. It will be trying to recognize what you are speaking and then correcting itself over a period of time. So this is what is deep learning, and this is what all about the components of artificial intelligence. Three major components are there: machine learning, neural network, and deep learning. Next, we move on to our next session, next topic here, that is benefits of AI. Now, AI has a lot of benefits, like we will be discussing few of them here. Reduction in human error. Like when we are doing some manual calculation, we may be ending up making some errors. There may be some problem in our calculation. But when we are doing it through AI, it will be ensuring that you get the right result, you get the right calculation. Next benefit is that it takes risk instead of humans. Like for instance, if there is a fire at some place, humans may be hesitating to get into that particular fire. But if you have a robots there, artificial intelligence robots there, so they can go and save the people, save the property over there. Then AI could be available 24/7. Your application, your software, your robots, they may not be requiring any salary also for an extra time that they are working. Then it is helping in doing the repetitive task, the task that you are doing quite often, like at the end of the day, posting your total sales, posting your total revenue, posting your total purchases into the accounts ledger. So these kind of things that we may be doing repeatedly. So if you have a software, artificial intelligence software over there, it can do that thing automatically on your behalf. Writing, sending some email, sending some payment reminder, that can be again done through the artificial intelligence. Then it offers digital assistance, like Siri is there in the Apple iPhones. Google Assistant is there in Android phones. Windows Cortana is there in the Windows machines, laptops or desktop. It helps you to take faster decisions. AI, as I told you that over a period of time, it can be becoming more powerful than human mind. That is because it can do some calculation, it can compare the values, and much more comparison can be done by a machine or a software in a fraction of second as compared to the human mind. So it can take faster decisions in a critical scenario. Then it can be used in certain daily application in your household, like we discussed about the vacuum cleaner, and it can help in new invention like detecting the disease like cancer in the human being at the early stages itself. So these are the benefits of AI, which if it is used judicially, it can be of greater use. But there are some drawbacks also. Now, after discussing the advantages, we will be discussing about the disadvantages of AI. So the things to consider are high cost of creation. A robot here, when I give you an example of a restaurant using four robots as a waiter. Each of the robot cost him for 10 lakh of rupees. So total investment that he had is around 40 lakh rupees. But that was an initial investment. It will be saving upon the salaries, the overtime, the tips that he may be giving to his employees, the bonuses that he may be giving to his employees. So initial cost is quite high. That is one of the major disadvantage of AI. And development time is also quite high if we are to develop something new. So it will take a certain time to be right, to give you the right or accurate result. Another drawback here is that it will make human beings lazy. Like you have Alexa, turn on the AC, Alexa, switch off the light. So you are sitting on your couch only and you are ordering Alexa to do everything. So this will add to your problem. You will become obese. You will be having more diseases in you. So you should be using those things judicially. So it will, in term, long term, it will make human beings lazy. It will increase unemployment. Like most of the repetitive tasks that you are doing, like in case you have a office boy who is doing cleanup task every day, and instead of that, you are having a robot now that is doing that thing for you. So, and he will be doing that, okay, every hour he will come to your office and clean the office again and again. But the human being will be charging extra if he is to do that job 10 times a day. So, everyone employer will prefer that, okay, a machine should do his task because it is doing it without any kind of uh, regret. So in that case, he will prefer to go with an automated system to do the repetitive task. This will increase the unemployment in a particular sector, but it will increase the employment on the other hand also. But it will be a specialized job. It will require certain skill set so that you are able to create such software, such applications, such robots that are doing that repetitive task for you. So on one hand, it may be increasing unemployment, but in a specific sector. And on the other hand, it will be increasing employment, but again in a specific sector that will require a specialized skill set. Then there will not be any emotions as far as the AI is concerned. The robots, you may consider that, okay, it is good on one hand. Like for instance, it will not get angry if you are not paying bonus to him. But on the other hand, it will result into something, a problem related where team development related work is required, where certain kind of cohesion is required between the two team members or between the two machines rather. So that kind of thing will not be there. It will not be having, it will not be good at doing the teamwork. It will try to do everything by itself. So that kind of problem will arise in future in case we have robots all around us. They may start fighting with each other rather than working as a team. Then lacking out-of-box thinking. Robot, as we are talking of, it will be lacking the out-of-box thinking because human beings still have an edge of taking the right decision, solving the complex problem. Now, if you consider a scenario where you ask the machine to do something, like if I say, I ask Alexa to do play music, it will simply play music. It will not, it cannot do anything. It will only expect that you give a command like play music. But if you give some other command, it will not be able to do that. Like for example, I give you an example here. What kind of intelligence I am talking about? There was an airline that has got some robotic system, AI-based system, developed to take the customer feedback. And on the customer feedback, it was its responsibility to answer those customers, give the replies back to those customers. So it was taking the feedback from the customer and giving replies back to the customer. Now, one of the traveler was facing a tough time there because he went from Delhi to Hyderabad, but his luggage went from Delhi to Calcutta. So he went to Hyderabad, his luggage went to Calcutta. So he complained. When he wrote a mail, he wrote it in a sarcastic tone, starting with the word, thank you, a particular airline, for sending me to Hyderabad and my luggage to Bangalore. Now, the artificial intelligence, the robot that was there to answer that question, he just captured the word thank you. So he was very happy, robot was very happy that the customer is satisfied with our service, and they replied back, thank you very much, sir. We are happy to service you and will ensure that you will get a similar experience in future also. So the robot is able to answer that query, but is not able to understand the tone, the emotion behind that complaint. So that is there. The human edge will be there because the machines will not be having out-of-box thinking. They will not be having that intelligence that is required. Next, we move on to our last section here. That is the questions and answer section. I have tried to keep that thing in the minimal session here. try to solve that questions related to what is AI, what is machine learning, what is deep learning, without going into the technical details. Hope that has made you comfortable about these terms, the benefits related to AI and the drawbacks related to AI. But now, if you have any queries, you can ask me those queries. I am waiting for your queries here.
Thank you, sir. Now, everyone, please make sure that you write the questions in the chat box. The chat box is open.
So no questions? There is one interesting question. Will machine learning or AI replace humans? Machine learning or AI will not replace humans if we keep an edge over that. We develop the machines that are not going to overtake the humans. But in case we develop the machines and they started developing the intelligence uh, in such a way that they become more powerful emotionally, intelligently, they become more emotional. Like the thing that told you that the machines, they lack emotions, they lack the intelligence. But if they start developing that, they may become powerful. But it is not going to happen in the near future. It will take a lot of time for reaching that particular scenario. But they will replace the humans in certain sectors of jobs. So you have to prepare to skill in a different sector, that skills that required to develop some applications, some program related to AI or machine learning. So it will be replacing the human in certain sectors. Like I told you that where the repetitive jobs are being done. So a small application or small software will be replacing the human, like chatbots. They have already started replacing the support team, the team that was there 24/7 to answer your queries and answer your uh, problems. But nowadays, robots or chatbots are answering that. We do provide the courses related to AI machine learning, but they have some statistics, some set of prerequisites that are you have to fulfill those prerequisites to do those courses, because when we are talking about machine learning and AI, machine learning and AI means that you need to be good at something, some basic foundation of mathematics, some basic foundation of statistics, probability, permutations and combinations. So all these things are required in case you want to really get into machine learning and AI. The first thing that you should be doing here is when we start learning about AI or MI, machine ML, that you should be developing your foundation. In case you are not having a strong foundation, you will not be able to initially, because initially AI, if you straight away take an AI or a machine learning course, the terms like neural network, naive Bayes, this will confuse you. This will make the things difficult for you, and you will not be able to complete that particular course. So it is quite important that you build up a strong foundation in mathematics and statistics first, and then you can start learning AI and machine learning. So mathematics, particularly probability, permutation, combination, different statistical formulas, different statistical models, that you have to learn before we start learning AI and machine learning. Though you can do that in that particular process in case you are taking a proper course, at least for a 2 years duration to do machine learning and AI. There is no expert instructor for this. As I told you that I can also say that I am also not also expert as far as AI or machine learning are concerned, and nobody else is also expert. So this days it has to be very, you have to be very careful while judging, while finding out that right instructor for you. as I told you that the first thing that you should be doing here is making up a strong foundation. And if you are able to make up a strong foundation, you will be able to find and judge the right instructor for you. In case your foundation is weak, everybody is expert for you. But in case you have a strong foundation, you will be able to judge that particular instructor by having a few words with him, by spending an hour with him. You will be able to find that whether that person has got AI or machine learning knowledge or not. So it is quite important that you develop the foundation first. Any other questions, please?
So we have got 3 more questions, but they have been, swiped up. So I think you're not able to see them.
So I hope that session was quite interesting for you, and it was able to solve certain doubts and queries that you were having related to AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So we will be winding up this session. In case you have any kind of queries or in case you have any kind of doubt, you can connect to us through email. You can also send message through Facebook Messenger, and even you can connect to us using YouTube also. You can just send us a comment on any of our videos. We will be there to answer your query. So it was nice. It was a wonderful session with all of you there. So we are winding up this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. If you have any other questions, suggestions, or you want to know more about our company and services, as you can see on your screen, you can mail us at info@saartechnosoft.com. And we hope that you enjoyed this session. You will receive a follow-up email within 24 to 48 hours with a link to view the recording of today's webinar. And you can also go to YouTube and you can search for SAR Technosoft over there, and you can find all the previous webinar recordings also there. Now, on the behalf of SAR Technosoft and our presenter, thank you for joining us today and have a great day ahead. Also, don't forget that we have our next webinar on business strategies to overcome the impact of COVID-19 crisis on 10th of July. Thank you once again.